Have you ever walked into a room, stood there for a few seconds, and then wondered, what did I come in here for? Or maybe you've tried to recall the name of an old friend, someone you've met countless times, but that name just seems to slip away. If you're nodding along, don't worry, you're not alone. I've been there too, and I know plenty of people over 60 who've had those same moments. But here's the thing, it doesn't mean our memory is abandoning us. It's just a sign that our brain needs a little extra care, like watering a plant to keep it thriving. Today, I'd love to sit down with you, chat like old friends, and explore 5 simple yet effective habits to keep your memory sharp after 60. No need to be an expert, no fancy tools required, just small, everyday things that anyone can do. First, let's think about this. Why does memory matter so much once we hit 60? Maybe you're enjoying a peaceful retirement, sipping tea on the porch, or keeping busy with your grandkids. Whatever you're up to, memory is the key to making those moments fuller. Imagine telling your grandkids a story from your youth, only to forget how it ends. Such a shame, right? Or wanting to recall the smell of a dish your mom used to make, but the memory keeps fading. I'm sure you don't want those precious things to slip away. So, in this long chat today, we'll dive into 5 habits I've seen work wonders for so many people. You don't have to tackle them all at once. Just try a little at a time, and I promise you'll be amazed at what you can do. Let's start with the first habit, keeping your body moving. I can already hear you thinking, I'm not young enough to run marathons or lift weights anymore. And I totally get that. But moving doesn't mean grueling workouts or the stamina of your 20s. It's as simple as taking a walk around your neighborhood each morning. 20 or 30 minutes is plenty to make a difference. When you walk, whether it's a slow stroll or a brisk pace, your blood flows better. It carries oxygen and nutrients to your brain, like fueling up a machine. I have a friend named Lon. She's 65. She's never been big on exercise, but every morning, she takes her little dog for a walk around the park near her house. At first, she only went for the dog's sake, but over time, she noticed she felt so much sharper. One day, she told me that after a few weeks of regular walks, she suddenly remembered her mom's steamed bun recipe from 40 years ago. Every step, clear as day. I was stunned, but then I thought, if Lon can do it, so can I. You don't need a dog to start walking, by the way. Just slip on some comfy shoes, step outside, and breathe in the fresh air. If it's raining, you can pace back and forth indoors, maybe while listening to a favorite song. I tried that once on a rainy day, playing Autumn Leaves Falling, a tune I've loved since I was young, and sang along as I walked. Not only did my body feel better, but my mind cleared up too. If you're new to it, start with 10 minutes a day and build up slowly. No need to push yourself, just do what feels good. The best part? When your body moves, your memory gets a boost too. Science says people who walk regularly have better recall than those who sit all day. But you don't need to take science's word for it. Try it for a week, and I bet you'll feel the difference. Next, I want to talk about something we often overlook, sleep. Have you noticed how foggy your mind gets when you don't sleep enough? I remember staying up late one night, watching a long TV series, and the next morning, I couldn't find my car keys. I tore the house apart, only to realize they were in yesterday's jacket pocket. I laughed at myself and thought, I really need more sleep. And it's true. After 60, sleep doesn't just recharge your body. It's when your brain organizes everything. Think of it like a librarian sorting books and putting them back where they belong. When you get 7 to 8 hours a night, your brain gets to tidy up the day's memories, keeping what matters and clearing out the clutter. But I know falling asleep isn't always easy, right? Some nights, you lie in bed, eyes closed, but your mind races with thoughts about your kids, your grandkids, or what to cook tomorrow. I've been there too. Then I picked up a little trick from my neighbor, a warm cup of chamomile tea before bed. It doesn't work like magic every time, but it helps me unwind. Some nights, I even count backward from 100, like counting sheep, but without picturing them jumping fences, because that just makes me giggle. Over time, I found that turning off the lights a bit earlier and skipping late-night TV made sleep come more naturally. Give it a try. No big changes needed. Just tweak things a little each day. I'm sure when you sleep better, your memory will thank you. We've covered moving and sleeping, Two basic but powerful ways to keep your memory strong. But our chat's not over yet. There are more fun habits I think you'll love. Shall I keep going? Now that you've thought about walking a bit each day and giving sleep some extra love, I'd like to share a habit that's both fun and effective, challenging your brain. Remember when we were young, learning a new song or solving a crossword puzzle in the weekend paper? Those moments weren't just enjoyable, they kept our minds nimble. Who says we can't do that after 60? Keeping your brain busy is one of the best ways to keep it young. You don't need anything tough or complicated. Try something simple like a crossword puzzle, a game of checkers with a friend, or even guessing song titles on the radio. I have a brother named Hung. He's 68. He's not big on books or studying, but every week, he heads to the park to play chess with his buddies. One day, he bragged to me, "You know, since I started playing, I can remember every grandkid's birthday without writing them down." I was impressed, because I still need a calendar to keep track. If chess or crosswords aren't your thing, how about learning a new song? I once heard a folk tune on TV and loved it so much I started singing along. At first, I kept forgetting the words, but I played it over and over until I got it. Every time I sang it, my mind felt like it was warming up. You don't need to sound like a pro. Just sing for fun, for yourself. Or if you prefer, try a small jigsaw puzzle. Nothing too big, maybe a few dozen pieces. I bought one of a little house at the market once and spent an afternoon putting it together. When I finished, I was so proud, and I noticed I was focusing better too. Little slip-ups, like forgetting to turn off the stove, happened less often. These small games don't just pass the time. They exercise your memory every day. But it's not just games that help. Another habit I adore is chatting with people. You might wonder, how does chatting tie into memory? Well, when you talk, whether it's with friends, grandkids, or neighbors, you're making your brain work. You have to recall details, old stories, and sometimes things you thought you'd forgotten. I have a friend named Mai. She's 62. One day, we were sipping tea in her yard, and she started telling me about a beach trip from her youth. She described it so vividly I could almost hear the waves. As I listened, I suddenly remembered a fishing trip with my dad over 30 years ago. Her story brought it back to life. That's the magic of conversation. It doesn't just lift your spirits. It wakes up your memory too. If you live alone, don't worry. You can still chat over the phone. I call an old friend once a week, just to catch up. The other day, I rang Nam, a buddy from high school. He told me about the mango tree in his yard that just bore fruit. And out of nowhere, I remembered climbing the mango tree at my uncle's house as a kid. Those talks don't need to be long. 10 or 15 minutes is enough. But they're like free medicine for your memory. If you've got grandkids, ask them about their day. They tell the funniest stories, and laughing along lightens your mind. One more thing I'd love to mention, eating smart. I'm not saying you have to ditch your favorite foods or go on a strict diet. Just add a few brain-friendly foods to your meals, like fish, walnuts, or greens. Salmon, for instance, has healthy fats that keep your brain running smoothly. I heard a doctor on TV say eating fish a couple of times a week can cut down on forgetfulness. If fish isn't your thing, walnuts are a great pick. I keep a little stash on my table and nibble a few while watching TV. One day, I even tried a spinach and banana smoothie. Weird combo, but tasty and good for my memory and health. You don't need to overhaul your menu. Just sneak in a bit each day, like adding fish to dinner or swapping cookies for walnuts. I'm sure these small tweaks will make a difference. Those 3 habits, challenging your brain, chatting, and eating smart, are gentle yet powerful ways to keep your memory sharp. But I've got a couple more ideas up my sleeve, and they're just as fun. Ready to hear more? At this point, I want to talk about a habit we often skip, taking time to relax. Ever feel like your mind's stretched tight, with too much swirling around in there? After 60, stress doesn't just tire you out. It can blur your memory too. I remember once when I was rushing to plan my granddaughter's birthday, darting around for cake and flowers, and by the end of the day, I couldn't find my purse. I was so annoyed, but then I sat down, closed my eyes, and took a few deep breaths. Oddly enough, after a minute, I remembered it was under the dining table. That's when I realized relaxing isn't just good for your soul, It lets your memory breathe a little. You don't need to meditate like a pro. Just find a quiet spot at home, maybe by a window overlooking the garden. Sit down and let your body unwind. I like sitting on my porch, listening to the birds in the banyan tree or the breeze rustling by. Some days, I brew a hot cup of tea, sip it slowly, and let my thoughts drift gently. Just 10 to 15 minutes a day makes a difference. If you want, picture a place you love, like a beach you visited or the countryside from your childhood. I once imagined standing on Nha Trang Beach, hearing the waves and feeling the sand under my feet. Even though it was just in my head, it calmed me down, and old memories started coming back clearer. Lastly, I'd love for you to try something simple but powerful, writing down what you want to remember. You might think, I'm no writer, why bother? But you don't need to be. Grab a little notebook and each night, jot down a few lines about your day. Who you met, what you did, how you felt. I started this a few years back when I kept forgetting doctor's appointments. At first, it was just Tuesday, 9 a.m., dentist. But then I wrote more. Met Hoa today. She told me how her cat's been naughty. The funny thing is, when I look back, I don't just recall what happened. I feel like my life's richer too. You don't need to write a novel, just a few sentences, like chatting with yourself. If handwriting's not your style, type it on your phone. Some friends of mine text themselves to save important stuff. Looking back, we've covered a lot. Moving your body, sleeping well, challenging your brain, talking with folks, eating smart, relaxing, and writing things down. None of it's complicated, right? You don't have to do it all at once. Just pick what feels right and start. Maybe take a walk today, munch some walnuts tomorrow, and ease into the rest. I believe these tiny changes can bring big rewards for your memory and your happiness. You don't need to be perfect. Just starting makes you amazing. I'd love to hear what you think of these ideas. Have you tried anything like this, or got a cool tip to share? Drop in the comments. I always enjoy your stories. If this long chat's been helpful, give the video a like and subscribe so we can hang out more. Living well and happy is never too late, no matter your age. Wishing you a wonderful day. See you soon.